This is a motivational people for anyone who feels like they don't want to get married, but they're seeing everyone else getting married and starting families, and it's putting them in a weird funk. So this is something inspirational to you guys to help you realize that it's not all over. And I see it all the time, and I think it's very easy to get into this funk. So let me set the situation and scenario first so you understand. When you start to near the end of college, and let's say towards junior, senior year, or sometimes after you've graduated, especially nowadays because of social media like Facebook, you're very much connected with your whole network of people you've associated with. And what you'll realize is that not everyone, but a lot of people get married either in college or right before college. Some people get married out of high school and don't go to college. Others right after college. And a lot of these people seem to be in the military or Air Force and Marines. Maybe it's something about that culture that influences them to get married so early. But also it happens to just normal people. And you'll see it too. Like some people, they will be married in graduate school or some sort of post-grad school like pharmacy school right out of college. And it's, in my opinion, a very early age, but to many others, the prime age to get married, and anything later is ludicrous, and you're going to die if you don't get married in this ripe old age of early 20s. I have always found it preposterous, mainly because I have, very much learned a lot through reading articles on the internet and experiencing a lot of people and hearing them tell a lot of stories in real life and on the internet. And what I've found is that a lot of divorces happen. Like 50% of people get divorced, and a lot of bad marriages happen because people rush into it for the wrong reasons, and they end up with someone they regret, or they rush into something way too early, in my opinion, where they're not financially really prepared for it, or they regret it later on because they realize that there's a lot of things and adventures that really can't happen once you get married, because you have a family to take care of now, you need a job, you need a stationary place to settle down, and unless you're filthy rich, unfulfilled goals and dreams like traveling the world or having some crazy night event in some foreign country, doing some crazy stuff, whatever, those sort of goals or dreams are not there anymore. You can't attain them. And again, there's a lot of people on the same page with me. They understand in one way or other. There are a lot of females too. Females, for some reason, they tend to more so. I think it's a biological thing, because they know that ovulation only happens for a certain period during their prime and yada yada yada. But it's definitely an evolutionary thing. But still, I feel like females definitely tend to want to get married sooner. But surprisingly, there are a decent amount of females out there who are on the same page as me. More so though, they're literally like, I do not want to have kids ever. Like that's their thinking. And what I've realized is that a lot of people 20 years of age and down are really stupid. So like they don't really think through what they're saying. It's literally just their biology, which has been pre-programmed talking. So when you ask them, why don't you want to have kids, and so forth, they're just like, I don't, because they don't really think through it. It's their biology in many ways. And like I've already thought about it, and I've logically figured it out. But a lot of them it's simply like they're just going through emotions. I don't want to have kids. I think they're disgusting. I think they're a pain in the neck, and they have these very quick answers to these questions. I've talked to quite a few people about this, and when I ask deeper questions like, why don't you want to have kids? I'm sure you want to have kids sometime in your life, right? And they're just like, no, Well, I no, never. And it's clear to me at least that I feel like they really haven't thought about it. And for me, someone who's thought about it, I personally would. I think it's just it'd be great to have kids one day, but far down the line, once I'm financially prepared, once a lot of these things like that I really would have a much harder time doing, um, have already been settled and done with, like traveling and so forth, and being financially ready and so forth, and finding someone who's right for you. Because that's another thing. There's a lot of people who rush, well, in my opinion, rush into it, but they get into it very early on, whether it's their high school sweetheart or their college sweetheart, and oftentimes it works out. A lot of it times it works out. It's not all bad tales and woe. Um, but again, this is for those people who look at this and they're like, what's going on? Everyone's getting married. A lot of them are already having kids, and you start to feel like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Is it already over? Do I already have to assume the role of what my parents were to me? And that's a very scary thought, especially for, have you seen the show 16 and Pregnant, where these people have started to assume the role at 16, and it's scary because they start to realize how short life is, especially for them, because what they just recently experienced, them having parents who took care of them and stuff, they realize the cycle's already fulfilled. It's already cycled through, and now in a very short amount of time, now they are the parents assuming the role, and it's just too quick. Like, the life cycle is just too soon and too quick, and it's just ridiculous. And all I really gotta say is, like, for those of you out there who think that, realize it's not everyone who's like this, and rushing into it can lead to a lot of problems as well. That's all I really want to say, and as always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. See you.